Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Kung Lee to defeat Frank Dukes. And I'm here to talk about Michael Morales versus Max Griffin. Michael Morales is 24 years old, 14-0 as a pro, and he's got 1 inch of height and 3 inches of reach over 19-9 Max Griffin, who is 37 years old. Max Griffin, I'll start with him. 9 losses. He's lost 8 of them by decision. And the one TKO loss comes to Colby Covington in the 3rd round, where Colby was just all over him, just riding him, and it was a positional finish. It's not like his chin failed him. And my point is, not too many guys can duplicate that performance of Colby Covington. But the 8 losses are all by decision, the other 8 losses, and Max Griffin has proven to be a really, really difficult test. Most of these fights are very close. He's a guy that scratches and claws, and even most of his wins, he scratched and clawed to get the wins. Picked up a few knockouts along the way, but most of his wins in the UFC are by decision. And yeah, Max, he's 37 years old, older than I would have figured, but he's still a guy that looks like he's in his prime. You could argue he won that Neil Magny fight, which would make his record and streak look a lot better. But that's his only real recent loss. Neil Magny out-hustled him. And here in this fight, I think Max Griffin has a good chance. I mean, he's a very solid veteran, really tough guy to out-wrestle, and a really tough guy to hurt on the feet as well. Very few guys have hurt him, and very few guys have out-wrestled him. Typically he's outworked on the feet, and even there, he's a workhorse. So I think it's a very solid test for Michael Morales. Michael Morales, he's 14-0, got the perfect record, but still, he has to be tested a little more. His best wins come in his last 3 fights. He knocked out Adam Fugit, round 3, which was impressive in a lot of ways, but not so impressive in other ways. After watching Mike Malott have a lot easier time getting through him. Fugit was able to get Michael Morales down and was able to, work some nice left hands, threaten him throughout the fight. I thought he was doing pretty well there, although Michael Morales was certainly winning, and then eventually it didn't matter because he got the finish in round 3. Then Trevin Giles, he knocked out in round 1. That's a fight where I think Giles could have done what I'm expecting Griffin to do here, make it a very close fight and really give him a test down the stretch. But credit to Michael Morales, he never let Trevin Giles get there. He clipped him hard in round 1 and was just all over him. Didn't let up till he got the finish. And then his last win before that was against Nikolai Veretetnikov on the Dana White Contender Series. He won a decision there. That guy seems like a solid fighter compared to most of the guys he's fought. Michael Morales, though, he's still largely untested. A lot of those wins come against lower-level competition, and he's put away most of them. He's got 12 finishes in his 14 wins, 7 of them in the first round, 4 of them in the second round, and 1 of them in the 3rd round, the Adam Fugit fight. But it's impressive that they're not all in round 1. And, at 24 years old, he's probably going to get bigger and bigger. I don't know if he's going to be sticking around this weight class, but right now he's gigantic. He's got 1 inch of height and 3 inches of reach over Max Griffin. And Michael Morales, he's every bit as good a striker as he is a wrestler. He's a wrestler, in Ecuador. I think he was like a national champion or whatever, but a solid wrestler. But in MMA, he's a knockout artist. That's who he is. And he's got bricks in his hands, and as he proved in the Fugit fight, he keeps those bricks in round 3. So even though the sky's the limit, I think I'm picking Max Griffin to win this fight. I'm certainly betting on him, and I guess I'll pick him to win. Griffin's never been really hurt too badly with single strikes, and he's a guy that's really difficult to out-wrestle, and I think he's really going to make this a close battle. Certainly, I would think the odds are worth it, but even without considering the odds, I'll go with Max Griffin to win this fight. He's my prediction. I think he's in Michael Morales' face, duplicating a lot of the success Adam Fugit had, but without giving him those big moments. And in rounds 2 and 3, I'm picking him to take over and drag the kid into deep waters and expose a hole or two. Max Griffin by decision is the pick. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.